Hey, it's Sam here. Welcome back to the series, The Road to 300 Pounds. I'm getting bigger by the day. It's all going really well, and today is a shoulders training day, but also a full day of eating. So we're going to have all the meals that I have today. I'm playing catch up a little bit from yesterday as I ran out of time, missed a meal or two. So it's going to be a little bit more than usual and make it a bit more exciting. If you're just here for the workout, skip through to all of that. I'm going to be covering shoulders, mostly deltoids, maybe some shrugs if I get round to it, and pushing heavier than last time. I'm going to make sure of it because I'm going to be well fed for the first meal now. So here's catching up on food with breakfast. So I'm settled in my favourite cafe for catching up on this food situation from yesterday, and I love it in here because they'll do me a custom meal. It's very like old school cafe. I love a good old school cafe, just like I love an old school gym, and they'll do me extra. So I'm getting extra egg, extra liver in this huge monstrous breakfast here, a bit of a milkshake to chase it down with, and they love it when I turn up here because it's like 3 people coming for just 1 seat taken, well maybe 1.5. And you know what, I just think, you know, if you get into bodybuilding, you're really going to have to eat loads to progress, especially at a certain point. I mean, and like portion sizes go out the window. If the guides on the packets in the supermarkets on portions are to be believed, I'm apparently a small family of 6. Anyway, they're cooking for me now. Stand by. Meal 1 has arrived. Let's take a closer look at this lot and break it down. So we got a version of the full English breakfast. They're calling it set 4, this one here, but I added some extra. I wanted extra egg, and I asked for the liver as extra as well. So we've got the tea, the caffeine just to wake me up going on. We've got the black pudding, the liver and the egg for the most nutrient dense foods there. And we've got the toast because I need to get the carbs on the go. I got marmalade on there, but nothing particularly special about that. But that looks delicious. I'm going to treat that one like a little bit of a dessert. Perfect. And things get pretty reckless sometimes with my off-season diet because the size I've got to and the training that I'm doing and everything else going on means it's pretty difficult to overdo it there. So I'm going to fire this up properly with the tomato ketchup, all things that I wouldn't have on contest prep. And the waitress was just asking me here if I'm a professional and what I'm up to with the camera. They're fine with it, but I was explaining a little bit about my channel and what I do, and she said, so you're a gym bro, are you a gym bro? I was like, yes, that is exactly what I am. I'm your gym bro, providing this daily content. And I'm expecting this meal to set me in good stead for my trip to the gym. I'm keeping it local today to make sure there's enough time to get all this edited and sent out. So I'm heading to zone. I'll blast the shoulders. I'm going to get a bit heavier on that overhead press there. I suppose one of my biggest influences with all the videos, it's all the old Ronnie Coleman's ones that I watched when I was a kid, when it was the Ronnie and Jay era. I just love their DVDs. Get hold of them online and watch it all. And I just love that moment where he's eating absolutely crazy amounts of chicken, just chowing down, and camera comes to him and he's just like... Now I would guess that some of you want all the calories and the macros on this kind of thing, and it's just not possible. Because there's been studies into the stuff that you get in the supermarket and how accurate it is, and on average apparently it's like 20% off and up to 40% off on 40% inaccurate on ready meals. That's another reason why doing like flexible dieting and stuff like that, especially in contest prep, it's very hard to make it work and just baseline eating pretty much the same thing, or really drill into it to see what's actually interchangeable. But on a road to 300 pounds and missing a meal or two the day before, the name of the game is just to eat loads and catch up on it. I'm absolutely inhaling this thing and it's delicious, but No, it's not that interesting to watch someone eat, but I want to demonstrate that I can actually do this whole thing, this whole bodybuilding thing, and in all of my other videos you can see that I can lift. So here's my opportunity to showcase that I can certainly eat. And sometimes we really overcomplicate this stuff, you know. It's like, I love the science and the attention to detail and some of my explanations in the other videos, but sometimes what it just boils down to is that if you can eat like a horse, train like a beast, sleep like a baby, and super supplement like a walking pharmacy, you're going to be big. You're going to be very big. If you can do those 4 things, that's the 4 things of bodybuilding, you do that, you're going to be big. And too much over-analysis and too much over-analysis of all little details, if you're not absolutely smashing those 4 things, it's a waste of time. Coming along nicely, just on to the last 2 toast. Yeah, buddy, light snack. Yeah, that's all done. That was super easy. Look, we've got all that done. Got all of that done. Oh, thank you very much. That was good timing. Very kind of you. Thank you. Just got to chase it down with the milkshake, and then we'll be on the road to the gym. That's actually one of the secrets of Monsters, like, for eating more. Let's get something soft or a drink for throwing an extra on top of each meal. So like finishing on a little ice cream or a milkshake, if you're like super dirty bulking, can be a good shout. So it's the milkshake with this one, but I have been known to have a few ice creams on this road to 300 pounds. Hey, it's working. So this is where I was, the station cafe. Now we're back on the road. It'll be about 10 minutes walk to Zone. Have a little chat when we get there, talk about cannonball delts and other such topics, get warmed up, hopefully see some friends there as well, train hard, and then it's going to be an absolute adventure of food for the rest of the day. Just arrived at Zone, my local. Don't worry, the gym tours are continuing. I'm going to do most of my training Zone and bodywork still. So this is my local, it's the closest. Just as I was leaving the cafe there, I got talking to a guy who said he used to do bodybuilding. You sometimes hear that when you're out and about, and he introduced himself as Big Mike. I thought, that's just great, isn't it? It's like in Pumping Iron, where he enters the gym and everyone's nickname is just their name with Big in front of it. I think you've made it in bodybuilding when you're Big Mike, Big Sam, Big Jim, whatever. That's, you know, that's an accolade in itself. I saw some of you in the comments saying Big Sam, and I'm flattered. I welcome it. But I did see one of you put Big PP, and I'm assuming you mean physique philosopher by PP, but Big PP, I'll take that. Just got here, they got all the supplements behind me. I was actually in the mood for a pre-workout, as I'm pretty tired, pretty sleepy still, but after a big meal, do not have a pre-workout. The risks of shitting yourself are much higher, and we don't want that. I'm all warmed up nicely, and based on what happened last time with this exercise, I feel I can go straight in with 3 plates aside on the hammer strength behind the neck press. Behind the neck press has been coming on nicely, and I want to actually push further than last time. I can't do it, I've got to be honest. I'm going to have to scale that down. I don't know why that is. Maybe this is a different version of the machine and it's a different angle, or the grips are different, or I'm not well rested enough, but that is nowhere near like last time, so I'll scale it back and do what I can. Set 2. that felt good. It feels like it's doing the job. I don't know what's going on with that first set there, but I can work good sets with 2 plates each side. Still challenging enough for me, so I'll get a couple more sets on this and then move on to something a little bit more in front. Set 3, still going to switch on and push as hard as I can with what we've got. I have a bit of a plan to make the most of this. So a bit like the last chest session where I couldn't tell if on the heavy sets I was pushing beyond what I'd done last time, and I added an extra drop set I wouldn't normally do to the end of it. That's what I'm going to do for set 4 here. So I'm going to go from 2 plates aside to 1 plate aside in a drop set, and then I'll know that I've challenged myself or pushed myself in a slightly different way, because I couldn't handle the heavy load kind of way of taxing myself. So set 4, here we go. Set 4, sort of into set 5. I'm going to call it set 4 though, because it reminds me of breakfast. Quickly lose those 20s. Okay, we lose the other one. Slide back in the seat. Let's drop set, let's go. Whoa. Still nothing but hard work. Let's see what's next. A bit more pressing and then at the shoulders isolations, focusing on side delts mainly. I've just noticed since last time that all of these seats have got a zone logo on them, all nicely embroidered and put on the top. That's pretty swish. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot, that it's on every single one. That's pretty sexy, let's be honest. So I was going to do something a bit more in front to add emphasis a bit more to the front belt, since that other one is a bit more emphasis on side and rear. I was going to do the barbell military press, but it's in use. I don't want to be switching weights around all afternoon, so I picked this one, the Hammer Strength MTS shoulder press. And what I'm going to do is put the full stack on, because I really ought to be able to manage a full stack on a machine like this where I'm at now. And depending on how I'm getting on, should sort of diagnose whether the problem on the last exercise was due to the machine being slightly different or an actual strength problem here, because I feel like I'm not well hydrated enough. I think that could be part of the strength problem or rest or something. So I'm going to see how I get on with this stack, and that will let me know whether it's just a different machine or there's actually something for me to consider here, which I suspect would be the hydration. I didn't want to take away from my enjoyment of breakfast by having loads of water beforehand, but I do normally start the day with about 1.5 pints of water. So, anyway, let's see how this goes. Right, it's the machine, it's not me. That really did get me suspicious, that last machine. That much of a strength drop off from last time is just not normal, so there's something different about that machine, the angle of it, which model it is, or the weight of the machine itself before your plate's on, or any combination of those things. It's not me, it's not me, okay, I'm doing fine. The workout is salvaged. I can do another couple of sets on the full stack on this baby, and then look at the side delts with the isolation moves. So this bad boy here, this is what I started on, this is what I had, and there's nothing wrong with it. I can feel it perfectly well in my shoulders, like this one sets that I got onto. I've just got to be careful that I don't load it as heavy as the one in pumping iron, but it's still useful to me. I think it's just going to be 2 plates as standard, and I'm absolutely fine on this to continue. So, set 2, all the way. Remember, if you think I trained hard enough, give it a like with a thumbs up there, or just imagine it as a hang loose hand. Give me a yeah bro if you thought I trained hard enough. If you've got any questions about today's particular training or anything about my channel, pop it in the comments, or if you just want to say that I suck and I'm too fat right now, pop that in there too. And if you want this daily content and you truly love bodybuilding, make sure you subscribe and tell all your friends. Settling in for set 3 now. I think set 3 in Cafe was the one with the beans, but I don't like beans. I'm more of a black pudding guy. You know, more of the proteins and fats. So I want my black pudding, my extra egg, the liver, just a high micronutrients tornado. Nothing. Like if that was a supplement brand, that would have to have a name like that. It'd be like nutrient devastation or something crazy like that. Oh, this is getting hard now. Get one more on here. Maybe make it another drop set just to keep it all nicely matching, you know. Who doesn't like the nice burn of a good drop set to finish? It's a proper fun. It's like coming, actually it's not. Don't believe a word he says to that. If you've not been to the gym before and got pumped, it's nothing like coming. It's like just the satisfaction of hard work, which sounds really shit, but it's not. It's actually really good feeling after you train hard. Drop set that shit now. It's always ideal when you're on the machines with the pins. Get them matching. It's halfway. Thoroughly brutalised on the pressing. Just find some kind of lateral raise, but it's busy in here for early afternoon. I have to keep this in mind and come earlier when it's so in the future. Yeah, so it's proper busy, so I'm just taking a quick breather while I decide what I'm going to do next, because I did want to focus on side delts and I'll be getting in the way. All the dumbbell area is very busy, and the area where the Watson machine on the side laterals is that I prefer to use is going to be getting in people's way with the cables, so I don't want to disturb anyone's work out there, and I can wait or just like switch over to doing rear delts first. But I do suspect the hydration is a little bit of a thing this morning. I didn't have my usual before breakfast, so I'm going to take the opportunity to start getting on top of that now, ponder what's next, and just make a little bit more of a chat section out of the video, because it's really good to see everyone in the gym. I haven't got a problem with it being busy. It's good to see everyone like working hard and making some progress, and it's really popular, this place. There's always like familiar faces. Usually several people training for competitions. So usually that's me. I've done like 13 contests. I'm just having a bit of a longer time off of them to build more size, which is going really nicely. I'm focusing on that kind of leg development, the limbs in general, getting up to 300 pounds, and it's going really nicely. I'm really loving this kind of phase, so I could sit here for quite a long time before I, compete again and see that real difference there. But I'm kind of like addicted to competing. I just really love like the shredded, finished look, and I don't find it hard to get in contest shape because of my diet knowledge that's explained in the calories video from a couple of days back. It means that I can really enjoy contest prepping and looking my best, and I get a little bit addicted to being in like proper prime shape. But if you keep doing that, it hurts your long-term progress, because you can't make maximum gains, if any gains at all, after a certain point if you stay in that kind of mode or keep repeating that kind of thing for a succession of contests. So for me, it takes more discipline to stay off of a contest diet and stay off of a contest prepping thing, because I just love it. I love the end result, and I don't know, just in terms of the aesthetics of it, I prefer the kind of like granite, detailed, shredded look to, big fat water buffalo. But I haven't got too much water retention going on this off season. I'd say just a lot of hair growth, so I'd say it's been more like kind of woolly mammoth than water buffalo, this getting big phase, and I'm okay with it. Definitely okay with it. Right, I waited for a little bit, and we're now all good to commence the side delts extravaganza. Wait in a minute while someone else is using it actually. Like, if I was just on my own, like having a chilled one, and especially if it was someone that I know, my etiquette would be that I'd like ask them how many sets, and if they said 2 or less, I'd say yeah, I'll wait for you. If they said like 3 or more, I'd say, oh, I mind if I work in, and that's all cool. But when I'm here, like when I'm here with the camera crew, I don't work in with anyone at all, so I just feel like it'd be a little bit off-putting to someone to, even though I wouldn't record their sets or anything, it's a little bit off-putting for someone like having that in their space, or like working in with me doing all this sort of shit and talking to myself and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So that's why my schedule kind of uses different gyms at different times, so it's not to interfere with the situation in general. A bit upset too. Got a nice high rep this time. I love this piece, the Watson, the standing one. Woo. Get up, set 3. I feel those reps are starting to drop off now, so we're really getting somewhere. But this, you're going to feel it in your deltoids all the way through the movement in a way that doesn't really engage until halfway through the movement with dumbbells. I still use dumbbells. I think they're neglected now as if they don't work, but they always worked before, maybe not in the same way, and they're certainly really nice for going down the rack on a drop set, but for that kind of resistance all the way through, stuff like this is great. And I'm not such a fan of the ones with the elbow pads where you go like this, because I find the pads like come up too high on me because I'm sort of broad and long-limbed, and hey, I'm proud of it that I don't fit, basically. I'll get my last set on here, then see what else might be free for side delts, otherwise move on to rear delts, and I think that'll be about me done for this session. So moving in now, last one on the hard one, full effort, and like breakfast is set 4 again. I've got to love it. Got a couple more reps there than I did on the previous set, so that says to me that I wasn't working hard enough on set 3, so naughty me. I was going to use the rear delt fly that's on the chest fly machine when you're sitting it the other way around, but I've done that the last couple of times and it's in constant use, so I'm going to switch back to this one that you lie on your front. I can feel it just as good in the rear delts for me, but looking at my physique, it seems like the rear delts kind of like getting more progress than the sides, so I'm always going to start with the side delts on the isolations in these workouts for the time being, or at least, or do more on the side delts, or probably just start on them like I've done today. So this is going to be the last isolation. I'm just going to get settled in properly here. God, look at that. That was embarrassing. I put the weights on the wrong place. It shows how long it's been since I've used this thing. I put the weights on the storage part, not on the actual machine. There's no wonder that isn't really right, so I'll just set it up properly. Okay, that's the stupidest thing I've done in the gym for a while. Another go at that. Hey, there's a bit of resistance now. Maybe my rear delts, maybe my rear delts have taken more of a hammering lately just because of how hard and heavy I've been training the upper back with things like the landmine T-bar rows. That's also a possibility. But as long as you notice these things and kind of like tweak the priorities and order and way of your training, you can keep everything more or less in balance. Here we go again. 3, let's go. Shoulders and delts there are really starting to show through. I can see that for myself. And feels really good. I've got one more set on here. 4 sets is usually my default, unless I go extra heavy, then I might make it 3, or if something doesn't feel right, then I might cut it as few as 1, or if it's not hard enough and I want volume and drop sets and intensity, I might do 5 or 6. That's usually my scheme of things with sets, and 4 kind of sits in the middle as the default there. So that's like what you've seen in most of these videos, these workouts. That gives me one more on here. I'll be finishing this workout pretty soon. Here we are, last one then. Tack a few partials on the end like I had done the other set. That feels good. I'm happy with that. I can really feel it in my delts, and I just fancy another overhead pressing motion as a little finisher here. So I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this machine. It's a slightly different angle, but it's really actually just fluff because I feel like it, and I haven't touched this thing for months probably. It doesn't feel like the longest workout now that I'm doing single body part per session more recently, but I still feel like I'm working really hard. I'm like pushing myself on the weight every day, pushing myself on certain intensity techniques like partials and drop sets every day. I'm training to failure almost every set, every day, and it's really working for me. I think eating's still a greater challenge, so it's something I've been looking forward to put a video on like today where I show all of the meals that I'm getting through. So we'll get straight from this into the post-workout meal, and then I'll be showing you the rest of my cooking and rounding up throughout the rest of the video, so you get to see the typical day, but a little bit different. Some catching up a bit from yesterday and making sure that I eat enough in general. On the bulking, when you get to a certain size, that just kind of overrides the finer details, I feel, and see in the results. That's me done. Let's get out of here and round it up. Hey, look who they've added to the murals in Zone. This is a new one, so as part of the makeover with the seats, they've added none other than Chris Bumstead, Mr. Olympia Classic Physique. Although the way they've drawn it, like the face, around like most of the face, looks kind of like that Gabriele Sancanelli Classic Physique bodybuilder. And obviously he's sort of like shaved his hair now. He's got the beard and the shaved head look. It's a small Bumstead nowadays. How this is looking. This is a Bumstead off-season look. But I'm not one of these that went around copying with a moustache. I did shave my head first and just because I felt like it. I'm not getting like hair transplant or anything. But yeah, he fucking sick physique, amazing structure, massive legs. That's what I want to catch up with. Give it time, give it time. I've just got back from the zone and I'm now in the nutrition zone, aka the kitchen. What happens here is absolutely as mission critical as what happens over in the gym, I guarantee it. So my post-workout meal is going to be a big old load of white fish, half a kilo here. That's a lot of protein. And the easiest way to do it is just stick it in the rice cooker. So I'll just stick it in the tray here, and then that can be the what I want basically is very fast digesting protein and carbs following that workout. And this is the quickest way to get loads of it down, because this just goes all soft. And just throw that in there and it'll shrink down as it cooks. And then the other component of the post-workout meal is the cream of rice. And this is the birthday cake flavour. I love birthday cake flavour stuff. So I'm going to put a little bit of music on while I prep this. Get 5 scoops of the cream of rice birthday cake. It's your birthday, we gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday. You'll find me in the club, I'm full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the eggs, I'm getting to take a drug. I'm in there having sex, I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug, we're getting rough. You'll find me in the club, I'm full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the eggs, I'm getting to take a drug. I'm in there having sex, I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug, we're getting rough. 5 scoops there. I just need to boil the kettle to reconstitute this stuff. Pop the fish on. Makes a lot of noise this way. It's air fryer. The old one into the new one. Get some space cleared up here. Right, I shall be back in a few minutes to show you how I mix all this up and eat it, and that'll be my first workout meal. So it's all done. The air fryer has finished up and I've just boiled the kettle so it's all fresh to put it all together. But what you really want with these meal preps is stuff where you don't have to stand watching it. So I think stuff like rice cooker, air fryer, or just jobs that can be done in 5 minutes, like scrambled egg or fry a steak rather. All that stuff makes it way easier to be consistent. If you can prep a meal in like 5 minutes, and you don't have to stand watching it, or it's just something that you set and forget, like even a slow cooker overnight or in the day for you to come back to in the evening, that's going to make it so much easier than like fancy recipes or things that take ages to prep. So I've just been tinkering with the videos from earlier while this was cooking, and now it's done and it should just be a mush. Yeah, it is definitely a mush. I just pour off the excess water. I just really want it to be soft and pretty much flavourless, so it's easy to get all of this protein down. You know, a quick option for that kind of approach is having a protein shake and whey, but it just doesn't suit me that well. It doesn't work too good for me. So I do it with the white fish, and I'm generally an advocate for real food. So pop that out the way. There's the fish. And here's the cream of rice powder, and I'm just going to add the water to it and stir it up so it's a good consistency, and put on the music that I'd actually listen to in the gym, because I don't normally listen to like hip hop. It's like kind of pop music basically. I want something to fire me up when I'm training. So I'll put this on and stir it all up. You've got to imagine that you're getting psyched up for some heavy squats or heavy barbell rows or something with this kind of thing. This is what training is all about, really. It's the only thing that I miss in making these videos is having my big hands on to blast myself with metal while training. Starts to get stickier and make it thinner by just adding more of the boiled water until you get the consistency that you prefer. And it goes down really easily. But it's just made out of rice flour and a bit of flavouring. Birthday cake in this case. That's done, very little prep time. Let's bring the rice, there's the fish, let's settle in now. So here we are, this is where I settle to eat when I'm chilling out at home. Have the laptop going on in front of me, answer any questions, tinker with my videos, and just really relaxing, maybe watch something after the gym while I eat my post-workout meal, but that's prepared really easily there. It will go down real easily. It's been working well for me for a while, this particular post-workout meal. But I used to mix them together and now I keep them separate so that I can finish mostly on the kind of fancy taste. A little bit like the dessert, a little bit like the toasted marmalade earlier. I shall crack on for a bit, make some progress on this. Let's have a little chat a second. It's going down really well. Like, the white fish is a bit of a means to an end, that's not so delicious, but the cream of rice is pretty delicious. If I'm going for fish and I'm going for taste, I normally like sea bream or sea bass, but it's really load up on protein in a cheap way and it go down easy. White fish is where it's at. I hope some of you like the metal there or were trained to metal, because that's really my thing. I would say the only thing I'm into, like as much as bodybuilding, if not more, is like metal music. But I play guitar, but it's a way more time investment to get good at a musical instrument than bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, you've got to eat food anyway, so you just, switch it in and, focus on things that don't take long to prepare, as I was saying. But the activity of the training itself, you should be able to do in like under an hour a day. As you've seen from my workouts, the only thing that takes me longer is like faffing about with the camera. But if you got in and out and trained like me, you'd be there under an hour. And that can get you quite far. But if you practice guitar for 1 hour a day, you'll be okay, but you won't really get anywhere, because you're kind of working up to a standard comparing to what's good, and that's defined and created by people putting in 8 hours a day minimum. But you can't train for 8 hours a day, it doesn't work. So it's like bodybuilding's a great hobby for getting the most out of it for the least time put in. So I'd always think positive about it in that sense, and be a bang for your buck in progress. I've really focused on it. But metal, I can still play guitar, but metal is more like what I appreciate now and going to gigs and stuff. So I just put on like something else that's an amazing track that I would train to, just so you can get a flavour. So what we had there was like mainstream stuff, but this is like what I want to listen to in the gym. Riffs in there, sick. And turn that off. It's maybe not your thing, but hopefully you can appreciate how it could go hand in hand really nicely with like heavy lifting. That's totally my thing. So enough about that, because I'm sure it's not for most of you. But hopefully you get to know me a little bit better as this progresses and the following here grows. And I do really appreciate all the support I've had so far. So I'm putting more effort into the videos. I'm sticking with a video a day. I'm going to stop waffling, throw all this down, and get right back to you. On to the next meals, and the next two meals get prepared together, which saves a lot of time, and is what I prepared together if it was going to be a whole day out. So I can just like throw in a box and grab and go and not interfere with my life. What I'm having is just chicken and rice. So what I do is I take a whole pack of rice, and that goes into the bowl for the rice cooker that we got here. Just pour the whole thing in. It's actually also got its own measuring cup, that for each cup of this it'd be one notch on the line that's inside the bowl, but I know that one of these packets is 4 cups, so I just throw the whole lot in. That is half a kilo uncooked weight, 500 grams. And fill that up to line 4, and then that would do for 2 very big meals or 3 smaller, slightly smaller meals, and that would do me for a day out. You know, that's just the exception of breakfast, post-workout meal, and evening meal. So like on a day where I'm not training and I'm out for the day, I'm living my life, I can basically get up, have breakfast, throw this together, which doesn't require me to stand and watch it, and it can go in a couple of boxes in a bag and come out with me for the day. And it would be when I'm back in the evening that I just cook a quick one, and that is staying consistent while out and about and just doing things that are ordinary and staying consistent with my bodybuilding nutrition plan. So lid goes on that, switch it on, and then flick it down and start it there. And with the whole kilo of chicken, the quickest way of cutting it I'm going to do that in the air fryer, which again doesn't require my supervision. I just set and forget. Each chicken portion I just slice sideways to halve its thickness, and it will cook through. And what I would do if I was cooking for the whole day is throw the whole lot in the box. If I want them, you know, just fresher because I'm at home for the day, it's no bother for me to do it in 2 sets. But to save me getting the utensils out all over again, what I would do is just cut up the other half while I'm here and throw half in the tin for the air fryer, which is what I'm doing now. So that's half of it in the air fryer. Pop that on. I know my settings, so I'm doing this pretty much daily. Take that up to 19 minutes. Hear it making a great whirring noise again. But, you know, to save multiple tasks and multiple washings up of utensils, I just cut these in half so that they're ready to go into the air fryer for the next round, like ready to go. We'll cut up there. But with those, I just throw them back in the box, and they'll go back in the fridge until the next meal. So that's that done in the box. These are now all cooking. I don't need to watch them. I just let them do their sweet thing. Pop that in the fridge for the next round. Wash up, which is all good until tomorrow. Just quickly sort that there. So you see, again, it's less than 5 minutes to prep a meal, but I could have prepped 2 or 3 meals depending on how much I throw in and how many meals I'm dividing it into for those meals. So the logic of my meals and the macros is basically that it's lean proteins with starch carbs like chicken and rice, or it'd be like egg whites, or mostly egg whites and a bread, and then it's fats and proteins together without the carbs, which is what I do for the evening meal. So I'll leave that cooking. That's basically done the cooking tasks for the day. And the birthday cream of rice to put away. Keep things tidy and functional. And having an air fryer, a rice cooker, a slow cooker, and things that you can just grill or scramble is definitely the way forward for easy meal preps, consistency, and the diet plan side of the bodybuilding. So I'll be back in a second when this is all rounded up. All cooked up now, and what I need is a very big plate, because I'm going to do this in 2 meals today, not the 3, but I could do it either way. But as 2, it's going to be piled sky high. So all my chicken from the tray of the air fryer. I didn't bother with any seasoning, but I have got a bunch of seasoning, so you can just sprinkle on over the top and give it a bit of flavour. But I just didn't bother. I find the more that you eat, the less you are bothered, because you don't want anything spicy or distracting. It just kind of gets distracting the more you eat if you have like something on it. Don't know, maybe it's just me. But it's definitely something spicy if it's going to like affect your want to finish it or your ability to go for the next meal. That's not a good thing. So sometimes I go plain, or I go for something really mild. And to fit this on with the intended amount of rice, I've just got to arrange it in like almost a horseshoe shape around the edge of the plate. And then we're going to get the rice in the rice cooker and pile it sky high. It's all fresh, piping hot. So I'm going to really enjoy this. I've got quite an appetite today. Don't know whether that's because of yesterday or because of training hard, but I'm always training hard, you know. I'm always making the most of getting in the gym. So I've got loads of rice here. And white rice I prefer to brown rice. It digests much more easily. Obviously the cream of rice is made out of rice flour from white rice. But if you have the brown rice, it has the husk on it, and it's like more difficult to stomach and digest. It's mildly more nutritious, but not really so much more to make it worth it. And in the grand scheme of things, when you've got stuff like eggs, red meat, fatty fish, organ meats, like all on the go in the system, the most nutrient dense, high in micronutrients foods on the planet, you don't need to be making it harder to eat your rice by having that tiny negligible amount more nutrition from brown rice than you get with white rice. So what we go with is what's easier to manage, because this whole eating lark on a journey to 300 pounds is a challenge, much like your lifting. So put that out of the way. With that left on, that just stays warm for the next round. On the next round, I'll just simply load that in again from the ones that I put in the fridge that I was chopping up earlier. That stays hot, and then just pile it up again. So it's like 30 seconds preparation time to do it again fresh if you are at home. But what I would have done if I was out for the day is throw the chicken in all in one, box it up in one of the many Tupperware boxes, plastic boxes ready to go over there, throw it in a bag and out the door, and that's consistency fixed and no real hassles. So we've got a big one here, and let's settle in again. I've had a stroke of good fortune with this meal, because just as it's arrived, a new video has landed on YouTube on none other than Ronnie Coleman's channel, who I was singing the praises of earlier today in this video. And he's just landed one called Ronnie Coleman Heaviest Lifts Ever Compilation. It doesn't get much better than that, but here we go. This is going to be the viewing while I sink this massive load of chicken and rice. This is bodybuilding. It's nuts. Anyway, that's for me to enjoy properly in my own time while I'm finishing this. And this will take a while to get down. This is where it gets challenging. But I do sometimes put a little bit extra water in with the rice to make it that bit softer. And I've got the cooking time just right for the chicken to make it kind of soft and go down. If you want easier to go down than that, and you're eating this much, I'd recommend go back to the cream of rice and the white fish. But for me, that's just the post-workout meal. And I've got a little bit of a confession to make here. I'm going to have to omit the last meal because I want to be really consistent with my videos here on YouTube. So I want to get this one edited and out within the next hour or two, and it's only going to delay me to wait until I'm hungry enough again to eat another one of this and my final meal of the day. So the next meal after this, as you know, if you're paying attention, is exactly the same as this. So I feel like you don't need to sit and watch me eat it. As fascinating as chicken and rice is, as much of a secret in bodybuilding as chicken and rice is, no one knew about it, no one was doing it, top secret stuff. You don't need to see me do that twice. But what is kind of going to be missed on is the last meal, so meal number 5. So while I'm sat here, I'll just tell you about it. It would be a large sirloin steak and 6 eggs scrambled. So I could cook those at the same time. I'll just describe the meal prep, and I'll demo it in another video, because with a video every day, there's always chance for all of this. But basically, quickest way to do it is get your pans out first and actually get the steak cooking while you're mixing up the eggs, and the whole thing should take 5 minutes. So I would put it on maximum heat and sear each side of the steak for about 90 seconds, and then put it on half heat and just flip it over and over and cut. You can't really give a time on it. You've got to kind of look to cook it right and look inside just by cutting into it while it's on the frying pan. So that's what I do. And while I'm doing that with the steak, I just crack 6 eggs into a box, whisk them up, and scramble them in a pot next to it, and I can keep an eye on both as they go. But the eggs will be cooked in less than 2 minutes, so I can actually do the whole prep on the eggs while the steak has already started cooking, and it comes together in 5 minutes. And that would be the last meal. Well, it will be my last meal tonight. I just don't have time to film it and edit the film and get it out. So that'll be the last meal tonight. It'll take me 5 minutes prep time, and then I'll leave like at least an hour before bed, just so it's settled enough for me to kind of get to sleep and not be like food coming up and everything like that. So maybe something that is useful information I can just tell you. A little bit more of a revelation than eating chicken and rice. A little bit on the PED side, almost you could say, is something you can get over the counter. Omeprazole is extremely effective for acid reflux and problems, challenges that tend to come in when you're eating on this kind of a plan consistently, and having other problems with acid reflux in combination with that. So that's something that I sometimes resort to. I did actually have one this morning. That definitely helps me, but I don't do it all the time. It's just in certain phases it can really help me. And I'm going to get all of this down now. Then in 2 hours it'll be this one again. And then about an hour before bedtime, and once this video's coming out to you, I'll be frying up a steak and scrambling 6 eggs. So that's nice, you know, as you watch this, the edited version, think of me tucking into my steak before we do it all again tomorrow. So tomorrow I expect training to be arms. Not really sure where I'm going to go. I'm kind of in the mood to go travelling again, but I don't want to do all of my you know, favourite gym tours on the agenda, like all in 1 week. I did the last session at Bodyworks on arms, so I could see myself going to zone again. One of those videos was popular, actually, the one where I was using that Watson bar with all the different handles on it, so you can get a really close grip tricep press. I could see myself tearing through a few sets of that at zone tomorrow. But again, thinking of my order of exercises and stuff, I think it makes most sense for me to always do biceps first, as my triceps are way stronger, like way more developed. The biceps are a little weaker, so I could start on all those ones that are important to me now, like spider curls with the dumbbells and inclined dumbbell curls, normal dumbbell curls, preacher curls, maybe some supersets. Get all of that in tomorrow. Maybe a pure training video tomorrow, because with all the different exercises I use on arms, it can take quite a while. It can be quite a long workout. And I hope you've had a good session today. If you got to the gym, I mean, you must have done right. It's Monday. Everyone's in the gym on Monday. It was proper busy and zone. You trained chest today, didn't you? You were out in force for International Chest Day, and you were broing it up on the bench press. Then you were doing a bit of incline, and then you were doing a few flies, and you were having a chat with all your friends, because everyone was there, because it was Monday bench press and chest day. That was your day, wasn't it? Well, mine was shoulders, and they feel fine now. You know, I could be doing pressing tomorrow and I think they'd feel fine, but I think they're more priority for me than chest, the way things are going for me. I hope this has given you some insight into the meal prep strategies and how to be consistent, and what meals work nicely when in the whole system on the bulk. If you did want to hear a little bit more of the explanation of my current diet, it is in one of the previous videos called Bulking Diet Explained. That was about nearly 3 weeks ago if you go through my videos, but that about wraps it up on this topic. Make sure you subscribe, because there's a new video every day. And if you want to contact me directly, it's Physique Philosopher on Instagram. And let's train really hard. I'm sure on your bro split, you'll be in the gym for back tomorrow. Am I right? Have a good one.